Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to go crazy with Prince. We are here to do battle with all the different versions of Prince. You know, you cannot get into your little red Corvette without wearing your raspberry beret. Raspberry beret. I am just saying, I'm just introducing my video with those little trivial facts because I'm Brian Lee Durfee, the author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown, all published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press, and I am going to be reviewing Ernest Cline's Ready Player 2. Oh, I gotta tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I was worried about this book when I first started. I first got into first couple hundred pages. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But then over time, it started rocking like Dawkin. It started rocking like Dawkin. Rocking like Dawkin. We'll see if that stays up there. Prince and the Revolution. Morris Day and the Time. Sheena Easton. What do they all have in common? Well, they're all 1980s pop icons, and we're talking about pop culture whenever we deal with any of the Ready Player books by Ernest Cline. I gotta tell you, man, Prince, Purple Rain. Oh, it's part of the puzzle and genius of Ready Player 2. That's why I'm wearing it. That's why I'm quoting all the stuff. Because it's everything I'd said earlier is all in the book. The rockin' like Dawkin, all the stuff I said about raspberry berets and little red Corvettes. So I read Ready Player 1 back when it came out, loved it. All the 1980s pop culture references were just smashingly fantastic. Everybody loved Ready Player 1 when it came out. It was just a great, unique, super cool idea to have a virtual reality puzzle game set in 1980s, just nostalgia. We all get that. We all loved it. Did it need a sequel? Man, for the first couple hundred pages of this book, I was really questioning whether we needed a sequel. Because I was struggling. I was like, okay, yeah, pop culture reference here. Yeah, okay, there's a Rick Springfield song there. Jesse's Girl, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. I remember that commercial. Oh, that breakfast cereal. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, that video game. Oh, yes, that Dungeons and Dragons reference. Okay, yeah. Now we're just throwing out different fan service pop culture references from the 80s here and there. And it was kind of just like, did we really need it? Should we have just let Ready Player 1 stand on its own for the rest of time and eternity as just the unique thing it was and the masterpiece that it was? Or should we have done a Ready Player 2? 200 pages into this, I was just like, I don't know. There's a few cool things where, we got some Princess Bride stuff. It starts out the same as Ready Player 1. We've got Wade Watts, the young kid. Right after, it starts chronologically right after this book, where they just finish up the events of this book. He gets back onto the computer and he finds that Halliday, the creator of Oasis, Halliday has got another Easter egg hunt set in mind for the world to follow, and it's, I won't give away what it is or what it's about, just because that's part of the fun of kind of figuring things out. And, they launch off into another virtual reality puzzle quest, all based off of 1980s pop culture stuff. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're back where we were here. We're doing the same thing over and over and over. We're referencing pop culture in the 80s, 90s. Different times, I was like, all right, we're in the Princess Bride. We talk a lot about the Princess Bride at the beginning, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die. You have to do that over and over, and then you fight the six-fingered man into different 1,000 different ways, and you go fencing with the six-fingered man, and you're, and it's all right, it's okay. I'm like, all right, okay, I get it. The first time I read this kind of thing in Ready Player One, I was super jazzed about it, but now I'm in Ready Player Two, I'm like, it's kind of played out. I've seen it in Stranger Things a million times. I've seen it, the 80s pop culture nostalgia. Maybe it's just been done to death, maybe I'm just done with it. And then halfway through, it started to click for me. It started to click. I started to get into it. And then I was hooked. And then I was off on it, and then I was rolling. Things were rocking like Dokken. I was rolling. Things were rocking like Dokken. If you don't know who Dokken is, they're an 80s hair metal band, a very obscure 80s hair metal band. I got the greatest hits, though. They had no hits. They had no hits. But I got the greatest hits compilation of a Dokken. And so then we're off and rolling, and let me tell you what did it for me. It was about halfway through, part of the puzzle, part of the adventure, part of the quest that Halliday has set them up on, where they have to go into virtual reality and solve puzzles based off of 1980s pop culture. Now they go onto Shermer Street in Illinois, which is a virtual reality place where it's set up, where every single John Hughes film, every character in every film is there on Shermer Street. All the sets, all the houses, every little last detail of John Hughes films are there, and they have to solve puzzles as they wander through this John Hughes universe. And I thought, that is cool. That's cool because I love John Hughes films. Like, we got The Breakfast Club is represented, The Ferris Bueller Day Off is represented. All the John Hughes films are represented. Every single last one of them. Home Alone, all of it. It's just dynamite. Dynamite as they're dressing up and cosplaying as different characters and interacting with, the Matthew Broderick's and the Eric Schultz and all the different characters, and I'm just like, okay, now I'm on board. Now you got me hooked again. You, Ernest Cline, you got me hooked again. And then we jump into a virtual reality with Purple Rain, the movie, and Prince concerts, and Prince Super Bowl halftime shows. And it's just dynamite. Now we're like doing battles to the death with all the different versions of Prince there have been. It's getting cooler and cooler, and I am just digging it. And then, the coup de grace. That's why I've got the Silmarillion right here. And back behind me, the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy. We get into a deep dive of Lord of the Rings, just lore, fantasy lore. Like, we are into the histories of Middle-earth and the puzzles that we have to figure out as we're wandering around through the Peter Jackson films and the Silmarillion, and God, even Vin Diesel makes a cameo in the Lord of the Rings bit. And it's just magnificent, And I gotta tell you, the Silmarillion and just how much love and care Ernest Cline took into the last set piece, which takes up about the last 100 pages or so, where we're just in the Lord of the Rings land, figuring out all the puzzles and trying to put together all the pieces of The Princess Bride, Prince concerts, John Hughes films, and about another half a dozen other 80s pop culture stuff. And we're all putting it together, and it's all coming together, and it all ties up just absolutely great, just like in Ready Player One. And I went from halfway through this book just kind of rolling my eyes going, I've been here, done this before, to just absolutely loving it every bit as much as the first book. So the guy turned it around, man. Halfway through, it's like a football game where the first half of the football game, your team is just getting its ass kicked, right? That's the way I felt. I just felt like, oh my God, we suck in the first half. What are we going to do? We got to get our shit together in the second half. And it did. He did. They won the game. He won the game. He won me over with the second half of this book. I loved it. I loved it. And I loved this book. And the second half of this book, I am going to say the second half of this book was better than this book. And that's my review. I am going to give, if you want to watch my review of Ready Player One, it's up on my channel. I am going to give Ready Player Two a very, very enthusiastic, based on purely the second half of the book, a very, very enthusiastic 9.5 out of 10, because he did it. The man did it. He pulled me in, he suckered me in, and he got me super jazzed, and I was rocking like docking. Rocking like docking. 9.5 out of 10 for Ready Player 2. If you loved Ready Player 1, I'm telling you, you're going to love this one also.